In a playoff-type atmosphere yesterday, the Padres strike him out, throw him out, double play to win the game, brought out raw emotion from players and fans. In order to split this four-game series, the Padres will have to deal with back-to-back Cy Young Award winner Tim Lincecum. The Padres look to keep riding the thoroughbred that is Matt Latos. It is a gorgeous Sunday afternoon, and welcome to Petco Park for Game 4, the final game of the series between the first-place Padres and the second-place San Francisco Giants. Welcome in with Mark Neely and Mark Grant. Mud, Padres now going for a split of this four-game series thanks to the win yesterday, and boy, was this place rocking when the last outs were recorded.
My fingernails are down to the quicks. It's grinding time. Not only physically draining, but mentally draining. That's what September baseball is all about when you're in a pennant chase, and we saw it yesterday.
And the pitching matchup today, the marquee one in baseball, Lincecum and Latos.
On paper, it should be a doozy. Tim Lincecum against Matt Latos, and Tim Lincecum, the two-time Cy Young Award winner. What makes him so good? Well, when he's on, he's got good location. The secondary stuff is good. But he did have a career-worst five-game losing streak. His last two times out, though, have been quality starts. But the Padres can get to him. On the flip side, Matt Latos, well, he's been electric ever since the month of April came and went. A lot of high fives from that guy. And when you look at, since the All-Star break, the numbers, Lincecum and Latos, well, we know about Matt Latos. But Lincecum, he tinkered with his mechanics a little bit. The velocity was down. His release point was the big thing. He could not duplicate that release point, and that's a big thing today to see if the Padres can get to the young right-hander and hopefully split this series. And like it was when it started, two games up in the standings.
Padres facing Lincecum for just the second time this season. It's the fifth start this year for Latos against the Giants. And here is that impressive pitching matchup for this afternoon. Tim Lincecum is one strikeout shy of his third consecutive 200 strikeout season. He's won his last two starts after dropping 5 in a row. And Matt Latos hasn't lost since his last 16 starts, dating back to August 3rd at L.A. That was the last time that Matt Latos took an L. Today's pitching matchup presented by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. Of the series, Giants and Padres. Those captioning for today's telecast brought to you by Corky's. Don't let termites steal home, especially your home. Call Corky's at 1-800-901-1102. The Marines taking the field with the Padres today. That's awesome on this Military Sunday.
Now we've seen different uniforms take the field with the Padres. Today it's the PFC.
Private First Class. Quite a few PFC Marines there.
Glad to see them here. And as I said last week, these Padres enjoy it just as much as the Marines do. So glad we can have them out here at Petco Park.
Bruce Bochy's Giants lineup is brought to you by Floor Trader. Pay way less for your flooring and take it home today. Now open in Lemon Grove. You notice Aaron Rowan at the top of the order. They are without Andres Torres, who early this morning in appendicitis. It looks like he's going to be gone for the rest of the year. Tough break for the Giants. You have Sandoval back in the lineup for the first time since the first game of the series with pretty good career numbers against Latos. And our starting pitching profile brought to you by the Mark Condos. Luxurious downtown San Diego condos from the 300s. Go to themarksandiego.com.
Had a little chat with Darren Balsley before the game. I tried to get a little nugget on each pitcher before he toes the slab for his start. They said, hey, what do you got on Latos? And he said, quote, what do I need to tell you about this guy? End quote. So I did the math, and you know what? Just keep it going, Matt Latos.
Stay out of his way. Hopefully he can keep it rolling in this big game as the Padres try to finish the series where they began, and that's with a 2-game lead. Aaron Rowan in center field leading off. Great to have you. Well, his first pitch is a strike, and we're underway. 70 degrees at game time. Goes up after it and fouls it back. No balls, 2 strikes quickly on Aaron Rowan.
That is going to hurt hugely, I think, for San Francisco.
No Torres.
Yes. Big player, can do so much, speed with his bat.
Even though he'd been slumping a little bit recently, he's had a tremendous year. And Rowan strikes out. He is tagged by Torrealba, and that's the way this one begins.
What did Matt Latos do to Rowan? Well, he got ahead with the fastballs, called strike, fouled back, and then pulls the string on that one. That's an old-fashioned uno dos.
Adios. Second baseman Freddie Sanchez. Whip and a miss and a 96-mile-per-hour fastball. Sanchez has really raised his average over the last month. Hitting over 400 in that span. He takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. His average has jumped about over 30 points, which is pretty difficult to do this late in the season. A 1-1 pitch.
Wow.
Latos bringing it early.
You know what? When you look at this Giant team collectively, they don't strike out all that much. 4th fewest strikeouts in the National League. But Matt Latos, if he stays to his strength, Sanchez behind that one. So they put the ball in play.
They do. 1-2 pitch. Way high. As a result, they will ground into some double plays. They've grounded into 169. But do not strike out all that much. Really a veteran team now on that offensive side. A few exceptions. 97 miles per hour, back-to-back strikeouts to begin the day for Matt Latos. Padre defense brought to you by Easy Turf Synthetic Lawns and Putting Greens. The best-looking synthetic grass is now more affordable. Call 866-EASY-TURF. Venable, Durango, and Ludwig in the outfield. Torrealba once again behind the plate. First baseman Aubrey Huff fouls it right at home plate, and they got a piece of Torrealba.
Sanchez swinging at the first pitch of the at-bat. Huff swinging at the first pitch. And both hitters behind 0-1. You know, we might see that today. Let's keep that in the back of our noggins. First pitch fastballs. See if the Giant hitters offer at that, because they don't want to see the secondary pitches, which are above average for Matt Latos.
And had all 4 pitches working in his last start, like he has so many of them. His 27th start of the season here today. The 0-1 pitch. Wow, you see the late movement on that with Torrealba's glove.
I thought that ball was going to end up on the inside part of the plate.
It wound up down and away.
It looks like it's going to start in, and look at that movement. That's the old wiffle ball.
Huff fouls it back this way. Huff had a 2-run home run in the first game here on Thursday. A 7-3 win for the Giants in that one. Then the 1-0 win for the Giants Friday. Padres turning the tables yesterday with their own 1-0 victory. This crowd already into it here in the first. Just getting a piece. Huff stays alive.
You know, you make a good point. I think that's awesome that the crowd with 2 strikes. It almost brings me back to the days of Doc Gooden when he was a New York Met. He'd get 2 strikes on a hitter and the whole place would just be on their feet wanting the punch out. Matt Latos 1 strike away from striking out the side.
1-2 from Latos. A little bit low, maybe in as well. 2-2.
The good downward plane, down and in. What does pitch track say? Right on the inside corner.
Into right field, and it's down in front of Brian Ludwig, and Huff took the slider into right, and has the game's first hit.
Let's see the location of this pitch. Oh, yeah. He wanted that down and away.
Changeup.
Yeah, good pickup. Now, if that pitch is down and away where he wants it, it's probably a different story. He left it up and in a little bit.
Catcher Buster Posey hits it down the right field side near the short porch and into the short porch. Swinging at the first pitch. Takes a fastball the other way, and it's 2-0 Giants. Well, it was Torrealba that took advantage of the short porch for the only run yesterday. Posey is 13th in his rookie season.
I got to tell you, what I said just a little bit ago, see if the Giants will feast on that first pitch fastball. And Posey taking that fastball the opposite way, as you mentioned, to the Petco porch. That is just some good hitting by Buster Posey.
So Latos has a major league record 15 consecutive starts of 5 or more innings with 2 or fewer runs allowed. Has allowed 2 with 2 outs in the first. He's 0-2 on Jose Guillen. The 15th home run that Latos has allowed this season. He strikes out Guillen. Gets 3 Ks in the inning. That one hit 98. But a 2-run home run from Posey, and the Giants strike early. Cheesesteak burger at Carl's Jr. It's a Philly cheesesteak on a burger. Our starting pitching profile is brought to you by the all-new Cadillac SRX, the Cadillac of crossovers.
Remember, the Padres beat them last time out, only 3 2/3 innings. How did they do that? They put the ball in play by going the other way, trying not to pull the right-hander. The velocity was down, and his location really wasn't the best. At times, he was wild in the strike zone, and the Padres took advantage of that, just spraying the ball all over the field.
Center fielder Luis Durango hits it down the left field side. Burrow watches it sail into the seats. So not the most ideal of circumstances to spot Tim Lincecum a 2-run lead, but as you mentioned, Lincecum has had some issues over the last month or so.
I think the big key is to get Lincecum into the stretch right away, even though the Padres are down by 2.
It's the high strike. Lincecum, though, great strikeout to walk ratio recently. His last 2 starts, 20 punch-outs, only 1 walk.
He throws the fastball, the split, the slider, and the curve.
Bounced out to the second baseman. Sanchez knows he has to charge with Durango running and throws him out. Padre lineup brought to you by Alpine Rock and Block. Start your next backyard project with Alpine Rock and Block. After Durango, it's Eck, Tejada, Adrian batting cleanup. Torrealba moves up to the 5 spots with good career numbers against Lincecum. And notice Ludwig batting in the 7 hole for the first time.
Hopefully that turns around for Ryan.
First pitch, strike to David Eckstein. Two out of 10 in this series for Eck. It's the breaking ball softly towards the middle. Charged to Uribe. Backhands, throws, and gets him by a step and a half. Giants D brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. It's Rowan getting the start in center field now with Torres out. Burrell and Guillen flanking him. And Sandoval back at third base today with Posey catching.
You know, it's a scary number in Lincecum's favor. He's 43-3 with a 2.79 ERA when the Giants score at least 3 runs of support for him.
That would indicate important to keep the Giants off the board from here. 2-run home run from Posey to the short porch and right at the top of the inning. 1-0 Tejada. And he hits towards the middle, but ranging over. Sanchez makes the catch. Relatively soft liner. And Lincecum needs just 8 pitches in the bottom of the first. Fastball up high to Pat Burrell leading off. Burrell, Sandoval, and Uribe, the 6, 7, and 8 part of the Giants order. 1-1.
I can't help but cringe a little bit. Going back to last inning when Matt Latos was out there, he did not get that call down and into Aubrey Huff,
which would have been strike 3.
But you know what, though, you got to erase that and just go on, right?
No other choice here, huh?
You're not going to get every call. You're not going to get every borderline call.
Phil Cuzzy, our plate umpire today.
What up, Cuz?
Two 2-1 pitch. Burrow fouls it back. The regular season ends 3 weeks from today.
Unbelievable.
Crazy. Two on the way. Burrow sends it to the alley in right center field. Cut off on a couple of bounces by Durango. Burrow headed for second. The throw in cut off by Eck. 14th double as a Giant for Pat Burrell.
Got a little blowout there, Pat Burrell. He's going to need a new pair of britches. But going back to that pitch, you know what? After second look, you know, it's up a little bit, but still, Pat Burrell going the other way nicely. So Posey with the 2-run shot going the opposite way down the right field line, and Burrell going to right center field. And Burrell's one of those guys that you'd classify as a pull type hitter, right? It's quite an adjustment.
Pablo Sandoval works the ball one outside. Sandoval had appeared as a pinch hitter, but had not started since the first game of the series. Towards first, that's fair behind the bag, and Adrian takes it himself. Sandoval does advance Burrell over to third with one out.
Got that slider. There's a slider thrown to Sandoval. Easier pitch to pull on that right side to get Burrell over to third base.
Infield comes in for Juan Uribe. I hear more than a spattering of boos from the Padre fans. Uribe's drawing the wrath. Well, a couple of things he's done in this series. Grabbing Nick Hundley on play at the plate. You've also got the Giant fans. Whenever he comes to the plate, they go, Uribe.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think this guy's been a Padre fan favorite either. He's unfortunately inflicted some punishment.
Mm-hmm. Remember going back to the day when he became a Giant, and one of the things that he could really hurt you on is a breaking ball for a strike. Breaking balls are fine. He'll fish for him out of the zone.
Uribe homered in the first game of the series Thursday night. His 20th of the season. Arizona's taken a 2-0 lead over the Rockies in the bottom of the fourth at Coors Field. Trying to cool off Colorado. They've won 9 in a row and are 2.5 back. But it's only the bottom of the fourth at Coors Field, so there's a couple of days worth of baseball left there.
Oh, yeah.
Which is where the Padres head next.
See how Latos goes after Uribe here with the left-handed hitting Lincecum on deck. Breaking ball in the dirt. Be ready, Torrealba. Or a fastball up and away.
It's fouled back. Keeping them guessing. Keeping you guessing.
That's why it's amazing to me how hitters adjust. It is amazing. An object coming at you 90, 95 with a little bit of movement. You're supposed to square it up and put it in play.
2-2 pitch. Inside with the fastball. Full count. As you mentioned, the pitcher on deck.
I'm going to get a slider. It's a pitch that he can control all of his pitches, but it's more of a controllable pitch down and away. Less chance of bouncing it as well.
Popped up, and Chase avoids Tim Flannery around the coach's box to make the catch. Had to have the glasses down to make that play. Uribe fouls out, 2 away.
I think Latos may have thrown him a 3-2 changeup there. Let's take a look. Nice. The changeup grip. Therefore, you see that Uribe was way out in front, fooled by it. That's exactly what you want. Now everybody can move back.
Tim Lincecum picks at the knees. I was in the Giants clubhouse when Lincecum walked in this morning, and he was sporting a bow tie.
Really?
Yes.
Nice. Solid color or like a plaid?
No,
type?
it was different colors.
Stripes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pee Wee Herman like, or
I wouldn't exactly call it a Pee Wee Herman.
Was it a real one or a fake one?
Like a real bow tie. Fouled away. Latos ahead of Lincecum, a ball and 2 strikes. Breaking ball. And Torrealba able to get over in front of it. Big play with Burrell at third.
And a big thank you from Matt Latos to Yorvi Torrealba with that breaking ball in dirt. Saves him a run. I mean, there's no guarantee because the ball might hit off the heel of the glove, might hit off a shin guard. That one finds the middle of Torrealba's glove nicely to smother it. Soften him up. Now would go hard inside with the fastball.
Jammed him and fouled into the third base seats. Got the face art going today on this Sunday afternoon.
The last pitch was 91. Let's see if he reaches back for a little extra down and away. 97.
Breaking ball. The curve is low, and it's 3-2.
You know, Torrealba may have caught that ball low, but that 12-6 curveball doesn't get called very often. And look at, that's a strike.
That's what track says. So it allows Lincecum to see a 3-2 pitch from Latos. And he misses low with the fastball and walks the pitcher. First one given up by Matt. I'm going to bring out Darren Balsley.
This just might be a visit from Darren Balsley to tell the right-hander, hey, you know what? Okay, just calm down a little bit. Throwing the ball extremely well. Go back to your strengths. Well, he's looking right at him, huh? He's coachable. It's one of the things Darren Balsley said about Matt Latos. He's come a long way. He's not one of these young kids that says, I know it all. Don't bother me. You know, he's not that. He's stubborn in a way he wants to do well and hard on himself, but very coachable. He's come a long way.
So it's first and third, 2 outs for the top of the San Francisco order. Center fielder Aaron Rowan struck out on 3 pitches to begin the game. First pitch, breaking ball, slider is low. There's a strike to Rowan.
Back-to-back breakers.
Yeah.
Remember the first time around.
Fastballs, and a couple of them got put in play. Posey hit one out.
Remember, though, first pitch swinging.
Yes.
So Latos might be thinking second time around, throw him a wrinkle.
Already up to 41 pitches. Fastball low. Leadoff double by Burrell. He was at third with 1 out. Runners at the corners, 2 away. Giants leading on a first inning home run from Buster Posey. Foul tip. And it levels at 2-2.
That's locating a fastball right there, folks. And that's the strength for any pitcher, but it's an extra added strength for Latos when you throw 95, 97. They can locate that down and away.
Popped up on the first base side. Adrian's going to run out of room. It's 5-6 rows back.
He's having difficulty, Rowan is, with catching up to that fastball.
Keep bringing it?
Absolutely. It's just you just need to spot it a little differently. Now, if he's having difficulty when it's down and away, imagine what a guy can do to a fastball, or good luck trying to pull that ball on the inside part of the plate. The bat has to travel a greater distance to try to catch up to it.
It's 2-2 to Aaron Rowan. Popped up. Eck backing up with the glasses on in shallow right center, makes the catch. So the Giants strand a pair. And after an inning and a half, 2-0 San Francisco. Sunday home game of the regular season, and the first 10,000 kids 14 and younger take home a Padres Slinky presented by Bank of America. Go to Padres.com today to get your tickets.
Oh, you talked about bringing me back to the days of my youth. The Slinky. But then again, we were too poor to have Slinkies at our house. Just saw it on the commercials.
Did you have steps at the house where you could actually operate a Slinky?
My mom and dad couldn't afford a 2-story house. You kidding me? We had a basement, though. So we did have stairs. We did have stairs.
Henry leading off.
You know, one other thing we're going to have to look at with Lincecum today in San Francisco, he's throwing a lot of off-speed stuff, a lot of change-ups.
Cheating towards the hole with Sanchez. Over to get it and throw out Adrian Gonzalez. A breaky ball. Cold Hard Blast brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And Torey Alba found the short porch yesterday for the only run of the game. 5th of the season. How big a home run was that?
Huge. You talk about a guy who's starting it off and finishing it off. Throwing the runner out, Ford at second base to end the game.
Big day.
Big day for Yorby.
Batting in the 5 spot in the order. First one in at the knees. You were saying about Lincecum.
Yeah, last time up in San Francisco, it seemed like he was relying more on his changeup and off-speed stuff because the velocity was down in the fastball, 89, 90-ish. Today, there's a fastball there at 92. It seems like the velocity is up. He's relying more on location and then mixing in the off-speed stuff along with that salad coming out from the back of his hat. That's sweet. Wish I could do that. Looked like Gallagher, though.
All you need is a sledgehammer and a watermelon, huh?
Because I got nothing up top.
4 still growing on the sides there, though, for you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to.
Sure.
And every time we go to San Francisco and they talk about Lincecum, they say, hey, he's a rock star here.
Absolutely.
0-2 pitch. Phil Cuzzy, a little delay, but he calls strike 3 on Torey Alba. And the pitch around the knees. We're not looking at Cuzzy, but I think he's saying a few things to him.
I think Trax is going to like this one. It does, and you know what? If he calls that all day, got no problem with that. Torey Alba's got to realize he's going to get that. He's going to have to try to get to that pitch for his pitcher, so you've got to keep your mouth shut. It's almost like the same pitch that Latos threw to Aubrey Huff, but he didn't get the call.
Matt's had a little bit more, almost two-seam movement to it, down and away. Headley is the only Padre that has a career home run against Lincecum. Chase in the series 1 for 11 and hit a double.
Well, somewhat of a milestone for Tim Lincecum on that last strikeout. 200th punchy of the year.
That's 3 consecutive years now for him, 200 or more strikeouts.
Now put that into perspective. It's September 12th. Tim Lincecum just struck out his 200th hitter.
Are you going to the 383?
Struck out 383 in 1 year.
Insane. Right down central, he gets Headley looking. Well, Lincecum is retired. The first 6. Chase seems unhappy. Involved as well with Phil Cuzzy. It doesn't seem real heated, and It can't be the final pitch that Headley took, because this was pretty much right down the chute.
Right. And, you know, you go back. Are they talking about the pitch Latos through to Huff, call for ball?
First pitch swinging Sanchez to left field. Venable in the corner makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. It has to be something prior to that.
Or then the pitch to Torrealba maybe was an issue. But the one to Headley was right down the dish. I mean, no argument there. So it may have been something prior to that.
And able to get the first out with 1 pitch, so he's at 46 pitches so far. First baseman Aubrey Huff. Strike 1 on the first pitch curve.
Spinning up the breaking stuff, first pitch.
Inside, a ball and a strike, and now the crowd.
See, now that's the issue. That's a lot of umpires came to the ballpark today. Everybody's booing. Let's take a look at this one. It might be inside just a little bit. Tough to tell.
Huff pulls it foul. Joe Cuzzy behind the plate today. On the finale of this 4-game series. Huff, the Giants team leader in homers and RBIs. He's at 24 out, driven in 81. Line to right. Ludwig will play it on the bounce. And Huff, 2 for 2 with a couple of base hits to right. Brings up Buster Posey, the reason the Giants have a 2-0 lead. He swung at the first pitch, fastball, took it the other way into the short porch. You know, Matt Latos had thrown, what is it, like 2/3 of an inning less last year. He'd be eligible for the Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
How big would the debate be between not only Giant fans and Padre fans, but nationally? The Posey-Latos argument for Rookie of the Year this year had Matt actually been eligible.
And then on the East Coast, Jason Hayward.
Yeah, right. The Atlanta fans, I'm sure, are going to. Well, there are other candidates, no question.
But you're right. That'd be a big argument. That'd be a big debate.
Latos threw 50 2/3 innings last year before being shut down. You have to throw less than 50 to maintain your rookie status. Gets the call there from Phil Cuzzy on that breaking ball.
Now that's a darn good pitch, isn't it?
Great. Keep it down. Just get the low part of the zone.
Good.
Get the call.
Let's take a look. And I'll comment after this pitch. And I say this regardless if it's a Padre hitter or an opposing hitter. When there's a pitch like that that's a strike, there's nothing more that drives me nuts is when a hitter looks back and says, how dare you call that a strike on me? And it's a pitcher's pitch.
Runner takes off, swing, and a base hit left field. Venable to third. There goes Huff, and he's in safely. It skips by, but Latos is backing up. So Huff off with the pitch, and Posey singles through the left side.
Boy, how often do you see that? I mean, sure, he went with the pitch, but a ball hit to the left side. Fastball, drop the head. Boy, that kid's good. Good swing. Ball hit sharply, and then Huff coming around. He was past second base even before that ball was touched, it looked like, out in left field.
So they're at the corners with 1 out. Jose Guillen, the right fielder, the Giants hitter. He fanned his first time. Didn't get that low strike that time.
That's a pretty good pitch.
Ed Gein out in front. 1-1.
Oh, the pitch count starting to mount for Matt Latos. That was the 58th twirl for the young righty.
Got him to fish for it and blocked by Torrealba up the first base line.
3 breaking balls on the road to Guillen, huh? And it seems like he's just inching it out just a little bit more as he gets ahead of the count. Nice job by Torrealba blocking that one.
Fouled back. Brought the fastball in on the fist there. Runners at the corners, 1 out in the San Francisco third. They lead 2-0 thanks to a Buster Posey home run in the first. Slowly foul towards third, and it stays 1-2.
The last 2 pitches, call me crazy.
Crazy.
But, you know, after throwing those 3 sliders in the third, and then he spun on that fastball in like he almost knew it was coming. And then it's almost like he's on that breaking ball there. I don't know whether he's guessing along with Latos or what, but.
You don't think he's tipping, do you?
Nah, I don't know.
High fastball in the air, right center field. Durango over to make the catch. Tagging Huff. Throws into second. It's 3-0 Giants. Seventh RBI is a Giant for Guillen. And the Giants have that 3-run lead. So now the major league record of 15 consecutive starts of 5 innings or more and 2 runs or less for Latos comes to an end with that 3rd run.
Hey, the record's great. It's impressive, but the bottom line is W's, correct?
That's the important thing here.
Absolutely.
Now.
Try to keep it at 3.
Fastball strike. Posey at first, 2 down. Burrell doubled to right center his first time. Another fastball, it's high. Got under it and a high fly down the third base side. And in foul territory, Headley makes the catch. The Giants do add a run on a couple of hits and strand their third base runner. Hit one of the third, 3-0 San Francisco. Full evening happy hour 7 days a week. By Irving Hughes. Life is a lease. Negotiate well. And brought to you by Mass Mutual, a company owned by its policyholders. Happy Sunday to you. Glad to have you along. Mark Neely and Mark Grant and our Channel 4 crew from Petco Park. The finale of this series. 3-0 Giants into the bottom of the third.
Well, nobody has a crystal ball, and I know we don't like to look into the future when it comes to baseball, but you find it ironic that the last 3 games of the season are up at Alphabet Park between these two clubs.
3 weeks from now.
Yep.
The final game of the regular season. Ludwig batting in the 7th spot today. Fouls it away.
Well, only 20 pitches for Lincecum.
That's the other tough side of the equation here, besides being on the short end of the score. Off speed, outside and high.
And on the flip side, 65 for Matt Latos.
Ludwig breaks his bat. The ball foul. The barrel of the bat out near the shortstop Uribe. Picks up another little piece. And another.
You build an airplane with all those pieces of wood out there on the infield after that shattered bat. Did he get in on him? Oh, yeah.
A 1-2. Ludwig, Venable, and Latos scheduled in the Padres' third. Ryan with a home run in this series. Watches that slider dart outside. 2-2.
Seems to be a little windier here today as well.
It's very breezy today. Breezier than it has been in a while. Out of play right side. Lincecum just now to the 25 pitch count. Mark, a 2-2 count on Ryan Ludwig. Full count. All right, 2 for 8 in the series. Venable waiting on deck. Lincecum's 3-2. And that fouled the bat. It's a foul ball. It looked like would have been ball 4 inside.
Absolutely.
Right off the knob. A little better angle from this side. There is ball 4. First walk allowed by Lincecum in the first Padre base runner.
So first time into the stretch for Lincecum.
Left fielder William Venable. A rare walk for Lincecum. You look at his last couple of starts. Didn't walk any his last time out. Walked just 1 2 starts ago against Colorado. Called strike on the low part of the zone.
You know, Lincecum might be one of those guys where you try to incorporate the running game. Dating back to last season, opponents have gone 29 for the last 32 in stolen bases. He's got that leg kick. He's got that big arm swing, that long stride.
Fastball fouled back. That's right about where Lincecum's been pitching today. What, 92, 93 with the fastball?
Yep. Remember in San Francisco, it was 89, 90-ish.
Back about a month ago. Floats upstairs. 2-2. Leadoff man on in the San Diego third. Venable strikes out on a changeup. Third K for Lincecum, 1 out.
I remember we talked about this before. The changeup for Lincecum, he actually holds it as a split. It's almost like a splange. That's what we called it, I think, last time. Good pitch. It's about 82 to 86 miles an hour.
Matt Latos, 6 for 47 with the bat this year with a home run. Infielders shorten up in at third, Sandoval. Eight sacrifice punts for Latos. Tries to get Ludwig over. Came up a second time and got him while in the batter's box. Padres lead the season series against the Giants. 10 wins to 4. They've won 5 of the 8 meetings here. What a big one this is. Padres trying to go back to 2 games up. Giants trying to create that virtual tie once again.
And scratch another day off the calendar.
Rockies still trailing Arizona 2-0 bottom of the 6th now at Coors Field. Well, how nice would it be for the Rockies to lose today, not only to cool them off, but cool them off a little bit before the Padres get there.
Absolutely.
At least a little chink in that aura of invincibility they keep putting together this time of year.
You know, we've talked about Arizona and Chase Field being the house of horrors for the Padres.
Coors Field
in September,
not much better. 2 strikes. Still trying to bunt, jabbed at it and strikes out. 4 Ks the first time through the order for Tim Lincecum, and it's back to the top of the order in Luis Durango. Luis in the first, grounded out to the second baseman Freddie Sanchez. Sandoval still parked in on the grass at third. Ball 1 low. Two and nothing. Durango 2 for 9 right-handed from this side of the plate, 9 for 30, so hitting right at 300 left-handed. Towards first, and it's past the diving Aubrey Huff and into right. Ludwig will stop at second. The Padres get their first base hit of the game, a Durango single, and it's 2 on, 2 outs.
Let's see what type of pitch Lincecum threw in there. It looked like a fastball down. He spins on it. Just down to the reach, and the ball hits so sharply.
I'll tell you what, the more I watch Luis Durango, the more I like Luis Durango. He's obviously not a guy that's going to hit for a lot of power, but you throw that out and everything else, he can contribute.
Speed is something you bring to the ballpark each and every day.
You certainly do. Doesn't slump, does it?
I like that. Speed doesn't slump.
Strike to Eck. Padres, by the way, did reactivate Jerry Hairston Jr. today, though he cannot play in the field. He's popped up on the third base side, and Posey in foul ground makes a basket catch. Padres get their first 2 base runners in their first hit, but strand both. Regular season, Saturday, September 25th, your Padres take on the Cincinnati Reds at 1:10, and the first 25,000 fans take home a great Padres calendar presented by Golden State Graphics. Don't wait. Get your tickets today at Padres.com. Taking on the first place Reds, as you like to call them, the
Cincinnati.
There you go.
Hey, Cincinnati's got to be looking at that magic number pretty soon, huh? Going into today, they lead the Redbirds by 7 games in the Central.
Yeah, the Cardinals have always been a tough matchup for the Padres, especially in the postseason. But with this regular season meeting coming up on the next road trip, you wonder where the Cardinal mindset is going to be when the Padres get to St. Louis later in the week. It may be one of desperation. I mean, they're already in dire straits trying to make the postseason. A 4-pitch walk to Sandoval to begin the 4th. Don't see Matty do that very often.
No. Well, St. Louis at home, a record of 43-24.
Yeah, they're a good home club, no doubt.
Yeah. I've always contended, no matter how badly the Cardinals are going, to win there, it's tough.
Juan Uribe takes a strike on the slider. There seems to be a few internal things going on in St. Louis, too. They've played down recently the Colby Rasmus Tony La Russa feud. Trying to put out that fire. It's down the right field side. You know, Tony La Russa has had ties to Walt Jocketty, who's now the GM in Cincinnati. There's talk about La Russa maybe not coming back. He hasn't announced what his plans are. There's been a lot of changes managerial wise.
A lot of vacancies, huh?
Breaking ball, just fair. Down into the left field corner. Venable towards third. It's a double for Uribe, and the Giants have runners at second and third, nobody out. That got ahead of him, but Uribe snuck it inches fair inside the left field foul line.
An 0-2 pitch, a high breaking ball. And what did I say earlier about a breaking ball for a strike to Uribe? Not a good idea. I mean, Matt obviously wanted that one down and away out of the zone. It was left hung up there in the zone, and a double to prove it. I don't know whether Adrian is trying to show some encouragement to Matt Latos. You always have to be aware of a squeeze play here. You've got the front door open with the left-handed hitting Lincecum. You don't have that much speed at third base. A couple of factors.
Lincecum, fair past third. Sandoval scores. Uribe comes in and takes a funny bounce. By the time it's picked up by Venable, 2 runs are in. And it is 5-0 San Francisco. A 2-run single for Tim Lincecum, his 4th and 5th RBIs of the season. He snuck it in.
Yep. High fastball. Once again, Torrealba have to reach across the plate. That ball looks like, you know, that might be one of those cases where it goes over the bag. I don't know where it landed past the bag, but that ball definitely went over the bag at third base.
And even behind the bag landed fair. Fouled back by Rowan. Just the 7th hit of the season for Lincecum, who's been on base twice now today as he walked in the 2nd. There's the 0-1 delivery. Fouled back. Well, even when Lincecum was going through the rough patch where he lost 5 straight starts, you know, the question you have in your mind initially is, hey, is everything all right with him physically? And apparently just a few adjustments mechanically, and he looks to be back in that groove the last couple of starts and so far today.
Well, the one adjustment that Lincecum did make, I was talking to Mike Krukow, the color analyst for the TV for the Giants. He said that his release point was off, was working underneath a lot of the pitches, hence the pitches were up and out of the zone. The velocity was down.
Out to short, Tejada, the stretch, and Eck able to get the foot back on the bag. And they do get the lead man, but Rowan will reach. I don't know if they were going to be able to get to anyway, but the throw to the outfield side that initially brought Eck off the bag. I think Eck's saying the same thing. I think we're going to get 2 there. Was not hit all that hard.
Flip throw, and luckily that ball doesn't go into right field. And as long as you get 1 out.
And we get Lincecum. By the way, all of Lincecum's RBIs, he had 3 RBIs coming in. They all came in the same game, April 17th this year against the Dodgers, and had not had an RBI since April 17th until that 2-run single. Low to Freddie Sanchez. Sanchez has struck out and fly to left. Slider low and away. Time asked for at home plate.
2:10
Pacific time. .2-0 from Latos. Well, 15 consecutive starts for Latos. We've gone at least 5 innings and 2 runs or less. That ends today. I mean, just Gives you an idea how crazy just to have 15 in a row like that.
Sure.
Is. 2-1, runner goes, fouled back. Let's take a look at this comparison brought to you by the San Diego County Toyota dealers. Making his 27th start of the season here this afternoon, and he's allowed 2 runs or less in 22 of them. 3 or more only 5 times, this being the 5th time today. And most of those 3 runs or more until today had come really early in the season.
Tells me that you're dealing and throwing the rock well early in the game up to 5 innings, which gives you a great chance to win.
Goes the fastball by him. Sanchez strikes out for a second time.
Some people might look at that and say, yeah, well, whatever. But to me, it's better than giving up 8+ earnings in 5 innings plus, or less than 5 innings for 15 starts.
You know, he gave up 3 or more runs in each of his 3 of his first 4 starts. He gave up 4 his first start at Colorado, then 3 in his second start to Atlanta. Scoreless ball against the Giants in his 3rd start, and then the mess he wanted Florida, his 4th start. He gave up 7 runs in 2 2/3, and since then had not allowed more than 2 runs in a start until today. And the last time he gave up 3 or more was back on April 26th. Huff is jammed and fouls it back.
You look at that stat. Look at all the greats that have told the slab in Major League Baseball. Bob Gibson didn't do that.
Nope.
Sandy Koufax didn't do that. Tom Glavine didn't do that. John Smoltz didn't do that. Christy Mathewson didn't do that.
What a roll to be able to have 15 in a row, 2 or less.
And I think from a stat standpoint, put it in that perspective, that's pretty cool. Lance McCullers didn't do that. Baby Goose.
Well, let me admit one thing. He did give up 3 runs at Philadelphia June 4th when he lost to Roy Halladay. That's the only one in that span that I mentioned since April 26th. Until today, he'd given up 3 or more. Incredible. 1-2 pitch. Eck inhales that and throws out Aubrey Huff. They get Huff for the first time. He had singled his first 2, but Lincecum's 2-run single makes it 5-0 Giants. Red Cross chapter and its services to our forces program. For more information, Visit SDARC.org. And today, the 2nd Recruit Training Battalion, Fox Company, Marines, and DIs at the ballpark today.
Graduating Friday. Congratulations to those men and women. Their chance to take in a big league ball game before graduation next week.
Once it comes curveball, called a strike on the outside corner to Tejada, and we're into the Padre 4th. Mickey in the first inning hit a soft liner towards the middle that was caught by the second baseman, Freddie Sanchez.
Hey. Oh. I think that hit off Miggy's wrist and then hit Posey in the mask.
Got them both. Well, Miguel Tejada had that long consecutive games played streak over 1,000. What ended it looked a lot like that right there. Fortunately, hopefully he's okay.
Yeah. And the side of it looked like it got Posey a little bit on the side of the mask, not directly.
Mickey on with the hit by pitch. The leadoff man on for the 2nd consecutive inning for the Padres. Ball 1 is outside to Adrian. Strike call on the fastball, 1-1. Adrian in the 2nd, grounded out to the second baseman, Freddie Sanchez. 0-for-1. Up the middle, but cheating that way was Uribe, who steps on, and they turn a 6-3 double play.
Perfectly placed defensively. Lincecum tried to do the old behind the back swipe. Uribe was shaded towards second base. High pitch away. You can see Adrian kind of trying to reach for that one. 4 steps. I'll take it myself.
Base is empty for Torrealba. Strike 1. Torrealba called out on strikes his first time. Waves and misses at a slider. Check swing roller towards third. Sandoval Barrett tries to barehand and cannot. And an infield hit for your beat. Little excuse me swing, and he'll take the base hit out of that one.
Absolutely. And with the way that Sandoval was playing, you can see he's playing well back of the bag. I don't know. Some people might think, you know what? Does he have time to maybe gather in front of him, two-handed grab, and then get? It'd be interesting to see there where Torrealba was down the line. Now, you know, Yorvik Torrealba is not Usain Bolt by any stretch of the imagination. But Sandoval went for the do-or-die play and showed that he could not pick it on that one. But after he could.
There's a base hit in the right for Headley. Torrealba trots down to second. Well, Headley singles. Padres try to keep this going with 2 down.
Well, station-to-station baseball here.
Good numbers for Ludwig with runners in scoring position all the season, including his Cardinal time. Ryan walked in his first plate appearance today. Lincecum pours in a strike at the knees. Late swing and a miss. 0-2.
There's that splitting, righty on righty. A lot of pitchers are, I remember hearing guys say, oh, you can't throw a changeup to a right-handed hitter when you're righty. Well, no, you can. If you take enough off and it's placed correctly in the right spot. Because the idea there, why it was taboo, is because they thought that pitch is going to go down and into the righty, speed up his bat.
Right.
And I'm not saying that will never happen. That will happen occasionally. But if you take enough off and you can place it and locate it in the right spot, yeah, you're going to have success with it.
If you can throw it, why subtract it from the hitter's psyche?
Yep.
0-2.
Back
to it. That split change. 5 strikeouts for Lincecum. After 4, Giants 5, Padres nothing.
Mid-game recap brought to you by Murray Lampert Construction. Home remodeling to fit your needs and budget with the Murray Lampert Construction Design Build Package. Visit MurrayLampert.com for more information. Marco?
Thanks, Bud. New pitcher into the game for the Padres, so they lift Latos after 4 innings and bring in Edward Mujica.
Well, Matt went 4 innings, 5 runs, 7 hits, a couple of walks, and struck out 4. Good numbers for Edward Mujica. Tried to hold the Giants at 5. Well, the Giants swinging the bats well this afternoon, taking some healthy cuts.
76 pitches, by the way, thrown by Latos, which is actually his fewest in any start this season. Previous low had been 82 when he went just 2 2/3 in Florida April 26th. Posey's homered and singled. Strike call. In 4 innings also, Latos' shortest start since going 2 2/3 at Florida on that April 26th date. I think that 86 pitches on Latos today. Wave and a miss and a strikeout of Posey. So 86 pitches, still one of the fewest, second fewest, 82 now. Was the lowest on that April 26th game. Jose Guillen, the right fielder, has a sac fly and is struck out 0 for 1.
It's been a while since Edward has been out there on the hill. It was against the Doyers back on the 6th. Third of an inning, 11 pitches. It was 1 walk in that third of a frame. So he is well rested.
Oh, 2 to Guillen. Just off the outside corner. Giants have 5 runs on 7 hits. Padres scoreless on 3 hits. Each team has stranded 4 on base so far. Grounded foul past third.
Nice move by the security guard down there with seat in hand.
Got up and out of the way, and then the ball girl made the play down there.
Doing a little river dance down there. Who is it, Michael Flatley? Is that what his name is?
Is that Michael? Couldn't see the face. That's down low. One out, nobody on to the San Francisco 5th. Foul tip into the mid of Torrealba. Back-to-back strikeouts for Mujica. High Definition is brought to you by Irving Hughes. Life is a lease. Negotiate well.
You cannot pick a better day than today in San Diego. I mean,
a little bit breezy, but very, very nice.
But I love the breeze.
You do. You got to have a little breeze sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, from Denver, Ryan Spilborg's
shocker
knocked in a couple, and the Rockies have tied it in the bottom of the 7th.
Unbelievable.
They just have that magic at home, especially late in home games.
Yeah.
You know, there's been a little talk, and some of the Giants
I
people
think it's
were
the Rocky
some of the
Mountain
first.
Oysters.
Do you think so?
Yeah, there's magic or something in those things.
There were some Giants folks that brought this up. They thought that maybe some of the balls that were used late in games in Denver with the Rockies at the plate weren't in the humidor, meaning that they would fly a little further.
I heard the same thing, yeah.
But that's just all rumors and hearsay.
You think so?
Well, so far, they haven't proven that, but that's been the talk.
Remember,
fouled off.
Hey, remember the Metrodome back in the days? They said they turned on the AC when the Twins came. It could be the same thing. They have a separate batch of baseballs for when the Rockies are up to the plate. I've heard of crazier things. Conspiracy.
You like the conspiracy theory? But then they'd obviously have to keep them away from the visiting team.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to get the.
In fact, I think Jack Ruby is one of the ball boys there.
Jack Ruby is.
Yeah.
There's a 2-2 pitch to Burrell. On the ground softly out to short, and Tejada. Nice clean inning for Edward Mujica, who sets the Giants down in order for the first time today. To find a farmer's agent, call 1-800-FARMERS or visit farmers.com because ready feels good. And I'm sure you remember this one very well, Bud, on this date. 98 when the down 7-0 after 4.5 innings. Padres rallied to beat the Dodgers 8-7 and clinch the NL West Division title on this date, September 12th. So it was a matter of when and not if, but still to clinch it and come from behind fashion like that.
I remember that game. I was down in the dugout doing a little field reporting during that game. And when it was 7-0 early, I was so upset. I was like, can I just go home now?
Everybody was wanting to celebrate that night.
But the momentum just changed, and base runner here, base runner there, base knock. You could just feel the electricity in that ballpark start to gather, and people were getting into it, and they smelt the Padre victory, and sure enough, that was a fun night.
Need to turn around some momentum right here. With the Giants up 5-0 and a 1-2 to Will. That's fair. Down the first base side. It rattles into the corner. William around second. He's gunning for 3. And here comes the relay. It won't be in time. Venable triples to begin the 5th. The first base umpire, Brian Honora, quickly making the call as he was getting out of the way. And Venable, his team leading 6-triple.
And you know what else on this play? Luckily, the ball goes past the bag. Fair. Luckily, it doesn't hit the umpire and slow down. But Will is off to the races. It's a good relay by the Giants. Nice pop-up slide by Will. It's only the 4th hit of the afternoon for San Diego.
So Baxter pinch hitting. And the pitcher, Mujica, who goes to scoreless inning with 2 strikeouts. 0 for 3 in his 3 big league games. Foul on the third base side. And Sandoval squeezes it. That's the first out. Top of the order, and Luis Durango. He singled to right his last time up. He's also grounded out to second. Fouled away left side. Well, all the infielders shorten up a bit anyway with Durango at the plate. But what that also does, got to put a little more heat on Venable if he's off on contact here to try to score.
Yeah.
Infielders are in a little tighter. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Now, Sandoval will back up. He's playing maybe a half a step behind the bag at third base with 2 strikes.
Lincecum strikes out Durango. And just like that, from a runner at third, nobody out. A runner at third, 2 outs. 6 Ks for Lincecum.
I think he threw him a changeup there. Did it look like a changeup?
Lift off speed, yes.
Lift off speed. It goes down and away, sure enough. And the front side opens up for Durango. Can't even follow it off.
That split change has been a pretty key pitch for Lincecum in this game. Getting ahead of hitters. Throwing it when ahead in the count usually. And here's Zach. First pitch change there. Zach is grounded to short and fouled out to the catcher Posey. What a Brock Umbrella?
Yeah, I think you're right. Was Lou Brock the first one that
the first one I remember that
sported one of those?
Strike call. 2-1. Venable led off the inning with a triple. He's at third. 2 outs. 5-0 Giants. Eck leans back from an inside fastball. Strike is the call on the inside corner as Eck was about to head to first.
Well, let's take a look at that last pitch. Yeah. What do you think? Paint.
3-2. Up the middle, and Eck drives in the first Padre run. Venable crosses the plate. 25th run batted in for Eckstein, and it's 5-1. He's done that a couple of times this year when he thought it was ball 4, come back to the plate and get a base hit.
Hey, Eck wants to hit. The walk would have been nice, but can't drive in a run with a walk unless the bases are loaded, right? So Eckstein punches it up the middle for the first point. Still a lot of baseball left here.
Oh, yeah. Shortstop Miguel Tejada hit by pitch in his last plate appearance. Looks at a strike.
Padres need a multiple point inning here.
Yes, got to put up some crooked numbers. It's been a couple of weeks since the Padres have scored more than 4 runs in a game. He chased that breaking ball in the dirt.
That's a good looking breaking ball. It's a nice tilt on that slider.
Two outs, 2 strikes. Long look by Lincecum. Strikeout ends the inning. 7th for Lincecum. The Padres, though, do not waste the leadoff triple by Venable as he scored on the Eckstein RBI single. By Ashford University, Saturday, November 6th. John Legend takes the stage with special guest Macy Gray. Tickets are on sale now at Padres.com/concerts. Have you noticed when the Padres win, they play a Macy Gray song at the end of the game?
What's the name of that song?
I think it's something about Beautiful World, or I don't have the exact name on the tip of my tongue.
It's a catchy tune.
It is. Hopefully we hear it later today.
Absolutely. It's a feel-good song. I mean, it's not really upbeat, but it's
kind of light and breezy. And, yeah.
It's a good tune. It's got a good beat, and it's easy to dance to. I'll give it a 93.
Good rating. Top of the sixth, bottom three up for San Francisco, and Sandoval takes outside from new hurler Adam Russell.
Adam Russell, the big right-hander. Last time out was against the Colorado Rockies. That was back on Saturday. 2 Saturdays ago, right? Yeah, because today's the 12th, right?
Lose track of the days in a hurry, don't we?
Right. Goes by quickly.
6'8", 255-pounder.
That's a keeper.
From Ohio.
That last outing, he threw an inning and a third. Struck out 2 rocks. 19-pitch effort.
2-1 to the Panda. Fouled back. Sandoval has said he likes the city of San Diego so much, he thinks he's going to live here in the offseason.
Really?
He likes the area. Rolls it towards the middle and back to his right. Throws him out. Duty, honor, education. Ashford University supports our military. We salute them as well on this Military Sunday. Only one more home Sunday game to go in the regular season. That's 2 weeks from today against the Reds. 3 weeks from today, these teams wrap up the regular season in San Francisco. And I can only imagine what it's going to look like 3 weeks from now with the 3 teams in the mix: Rockies, Giants,
it's so
and
hard.
Padres.
It's so hard to handicap it too, right?
It really is.
I mean, you don't know. And like, for instance, so many things are out of the control of each team. Like today, we mentioned it earlier, but Torres out for the season.
Big loss for San Francisco. He's been a spark at the top of their order. He's had a career year.
Appendicitis.
Wakes up this morning. And ironically, Tim Stauffer, who suffered that same problem and had the surgery. So good for the Padres on the mound yesterday, and now looks to be a guy that is going to be in the rotation the rest of the way, and deservedly so.
Absolutely.
Timmy. How about the outing he put forth yesterday? 6 innings, no runs, 3 hits, struck out 5, walked 2.
You know, think about it for Tim Stauffer. Every time.
It's fair behind the bag, long throw. Drove it out to get Uribe.
Every time that he has gotten the baseball this year, he's come through.
And remember spring training? Kind of the thought was, well, there's no room for Stauffer or even Sean Gallagher. And you kind of thought at the time, like, maybe Stauffer was going to get traded. Gallagher was going to be the guy that would stick on the roster, where Gallagher did for a while. But you certainly look at this season now, Stauffer has been a big contributor to this team. It's a good thing that he has been kept around.
Hey,
he's fouled back.
Heads up over there. My goodness.
Maybe Chris Young is going to become part of that mix.
Yep.
That's outside and high. CY threw last night in Game 1 of the California League playoffs at Lake Elsinore. 5 2/3 scoreless, struck out 7.
Did he get the win?
I believe, yes, he did get the win. Because they won the game. I think it was 5-0 final. Swing and a miss by Lincecum, who strikes out. Yes, I verify that. Chris Young did get the win last night in their 5-0 win over Rancho Cucamonga. brought to you by the new Cadillac CTS Coupe. You can visit your San Diego County Cadillac dealer and test drive one today. Home half of the 6th, 5-1 San Francisco, and Adrian leads off. Shortens up and takes a strike. They're shifting on the right side, not the overshift.
Right.
But Sandoval, the third baseman, still is on the third base side and about 25 feet off the line. So it's not like the left side is completely open. 1-1.
Oh, let's come really pounding the strike zone today. 73% strikes.
Adrian is grounded out and grounded into a double play. And he finds a hole in that shift. And singles to center to begin the Padres' 6th. Last time, remember, he grounded almost right over the second base bag. This time, a little to the right of second and out of reach.
You know, you just never know where this guy's going to hit the baseball. You can pitch him one way and he'll hit that way, and then vice versa. That pitch up and away from Adrian, and somehow gets out in front of it to hook it to the second base side through the hole. Sometimes pitchers probably think, okay, uncle.
Inside at Torrealba. Verbeet singled an infield hit in the 4th. The Padres are only getting out hit 7-6. They're trailed by 4 in the run column. We're talking about the Padre upcoming schedule. That road trip to Colorado, St. Louis, and L.A. ahead. An off day tomorrow for the Giants. Then they are home for 6. 3 against the Dodgers and 3 against the Brewers.
Yeah, they've got 3 more off days, Mark.
They do. They have every Monday off remaining in the regular season.
And the Padres just 1 more off day. That's September 20th.
It is. After their home series, they go to Wrigley Field for 3, do the Giants, and they still have a 3-game trip at Colorado left. And they finish up with 6 at home, 3 against Arizona, and of course the final 3 against the Padres. It'll be interesting to see the Dodgers approach there. We know what they looked like when they were here earlier last week when the Padres swept them 3. But Dodgers Giants, even if the Dodgers are going to be out of it, you know,
absolutely.
Historically, each team, Dodgers Giants, have knocked the other out of the division race. And Torrealba strikes out, 8 Ks for Lincecum and 1 out in the 6th.
Giants 8-7 against the Dodgers this year.
We'll see what Joe Torre's Dodgers can do this week against the Giants. We'll be rooting for the Dodgers there. What's going to happen to Joe Torre at the end of the season?
You see him coming back?
That's a tough call. I think there's a chance that he may not come back.
I'm right there with you. If I were to lean one way, I'd say, you know what, Joe Torre's probably going to hang it up.
Low zone. It's a grin from Headley. Left side to his left, Sandoval to second, out to first, safe. And Headley beats the relay. He is at first with 2 away.
Well, let's take a look at this pitch. Oh, it looked like, man, that pitch is up down the middle of the plate, and almost looked like Chase got jammed on that ball. 5-4-3, beats it out to stay alive.
Ryan Ludwig, and a throw over to first. I was looking, if Torrey steps down or retires, you know Bobby Cox says he's finished at the end of the year.
Right.
Tony La Russa is the longest tenured manager as far as consecutive seasons as a big league manager at 32. There's talk about what he's going to do. Whether La Russa is going to come back to St. Louis. If those three are elsewhere next year not managing, guess who the longest tenured manager for consecutive seasons in the big leagues would be?
Not with one team?
Not with one team necessarily, but consecutively in the big leagues.
Bruce Bochy.
Bruce Bochy, who's in his 16th consecutive season as a major league manager when you combine his Padres and Giants time. So he's fourth right now behind Torrey, who's been 21 consecutive years, along with Cox at 21 and La Russa 32 consecutive years. Diving catch by Pablo Sandoval robs Ludwig and the Padres to end the sixth. Sandoval diving to his right. That's quite a play there by the Panda. $5 footlongs taste like a fortune, but they're still just $5. So many favorites like Blazing Buffalo Chicken, $5 all day, every day. Subway, eat fresh. And by Cox Advanced TV. Ready for more choices? Go to Cox.com. So happy you could join us on this Sunday afternoon. Mark Neely with Mark Grant and our terrific Channel 4 crew from Petco Park. Still pedaling. Top of the order, Rowan has struck out, popped to second, and reached on a fielder's choice. In the air, shallow right, coming on Ludwig, and he gets there to make the catch. Coming up, the San Diego Hyundai dealers, 7th inning, stretch your dollars. Get more miles per gallon and the assurance of America's best warranty. Go to SanDiegoHyundaiDealers.com. First one upstairs. Ready, Sanchez. Sanchez has struck out twice. Also fly to left. Up high from Russell. Second inning of work for Adam Russell.
I'd like to put an APB out on Mark Neely's pen, if anybody is
in the air to center field with the glasses on, caught by Durango. Hey, that reminds me that Tony Gwynn Jr. may find his way back to the active roster in the next few days. That hamate bone surgery, rehab's gone well. So Jerry Hairston Jr. back on the active roster today. And Bud Black saying before the game, don't be surprised if Tony gets activated sometime during that series in Colorado.
Well, that's a speedy recovery, huh?
Yeah, lightning fast.
When you talk about that injury in the wrist, I mean, swinging the bat, it's a tremendous torque.
Tony has been very disciplined in his rehab, and not that others aren't. But as soon as the injury occurred, I think Tony looked at the calendar and said, okay, how do I get back before the regular season ends to help this team? Up and away to Aubrey Huff. Huff singled ahead of the Posey homer in the first. Then he singled and scored in the third. He's 2 out of 3. Good fastball at 96, but just a hair inside.
Mr. Huff has been a thorn in the side, huh? In the saddle.
He's had a pretty big series for the Giants. 2-run homer here on Thursday, and that's out of play left side. He's had a good year overall for them, no doubt. You remember last year when he was traded to the Tigers near the end of the season. The Tigers were right there in the pennant race, and he really struggled, Huff did, at the end of the 09 season. But swings and misses and strikes out. Adam Russell hit 97 on the gun. He's retired all 6 men he's faced. 8-9-1 due up in the Padres half. For ceiling fans, go to Fan Diego.
Stretch time here at Petco Park. A lot of how you doings here today.
Yeah.
You can't beat fun at the old ballpark.
Giants with 2 in the first, 1 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. Took a 5-0 lead. The Padres' lone tally came in the 5th. Venable tripled and scored on an Eckstein single. The 5-1 Giants into the bottom of the 7th.
Let's when you check out the pitch count for Lincecum, 89 for the right-hander. And you know what? I wanted to make a point. See Tim Lincecum's shoes?
Yes.
He's sporting the Reeboks.
The orange laces.
And the reason why I want to say he's got the orange laces, how times have changed. Now, when I played for the Giants with Frank Robinson as my manager and Roger Craig, there is no way that Frank Robinson or Roger Craig would allow the orange shoelaces. Or Al Rosen, the general manager. You can put it into that right now. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying how times have changed.
Venable fouls it away. It's a different day, different era.
And I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. Whatever. I mean, it's just
what the law of the land was.
A matter of opinion. And I remember.
Venable golfs it right side and through. Second consecutive hit for Will Venable.
0-2 hit for Will.
Hits are even at 7 aside now. Pitcher spot due up, and Oscar Salazar will pinch hit.
I remember one day in spring training going to Scottsdale, first day of camp, and I remember Jeffrey Leonard had 00 for numbers, for a number. It took an act of Congress for Hackman to go to Al Rosen and say, hey, I want 00 on my jersey.
That was just too revolutionary, huh?
It was just, yeah.
Oscar batting for Russell, who goes 2 scoreless innings.
He threw the ball extremely well.
Very nice. Salazar has been the second most frequent used Padres pinch hitter behind Matt Stairs. Oscar 8 for 39 as a pinch hitter with a pinch hit home run. He has more pinch hit RBIs than anyone on the club, though, with 10.
Hey, please forgive me if you already mentioned this, Marco, but according to my book, the last 4 innings, the Padres had the lead runner on base.
And have leadoff man on.
Only scored 1 time.
That's after Venable tripled in the 5th. Leading off. And it took a 2-out hit to get Will home in that inning. Sergio Romo up in the San Francisco bullpen. Strike to Salazar, 2-2.
Let's take a look at pitch track. Posey set it down and away, and you know what? That's a strike. It's a good pitch.
Center field, rolling back. Faces up and makes the catch. Back to first, Will. 1 down in the 7th. Lincecum nearing 100 pitches. He's at 97. Luis Durango has a hit in 3 trips, singling in the 3rd.
Dave Righetti on the phone.
See if someone's going to join Romo getting loose in the Giants' pin here in a moment. Indeed, there will be some other action. Ramon Ramirez is going to start to loosen as well in the Giants' pen, a right-hander. Strike on the inner half, 1-2, and Durango. You see Halfelt and Ramirez now going. So Romo sitting. Runner takes off, bouncy ball, and it's Sanchez that fields and throws on to first. Venable moving with the pitch, goes down to second. 2 outs. David Eckstein has knocked in the only Padre run with a 2-out single in the 5th. Venable took off on the pitch, you recall, to Durango a moment ago. He's at second. The chance to be knocked in with 2 outs. That drove him home in the 5th.
Tight slider there to get ahead 0-1. Lincecum still good location on that breaking ball and still in command after pitch 102.
Two strikes on Eckstein. Old foul wide of third. Leadoff base hit by Venable. He's at second with 2 outs. 5-1 Giants in the 7th. Looking away to Eck.
And we all know that Eck loves to hit with 2 strikes, right? He battles.
He leads back for one that's tight. Put him on his backside. Like a slider that was up.
Yeah, he definitely wanted it down and away. That'll get your attention.
Getting the piece. Eck fouls off that fastball. Padres trying to creep closer. Down 4 in the 7th. Venable at second base with 2 outs in the 2-2. Up and in and a full count. Got him looking. The slider strikes out Eck. 9 strikeouts for Lincecum through 7.
Tonight on an all-new Sam the Cooking Guy. Pay close attention while Mr. Cooking Guy teaches some easy back-to-school meals for your kids, and they'll really dig it. Like baked chicken taquitos and spaghetti carbonara. Spaghetti carbonara.
Carbonara, yeah.
That sounds like
it's good stuff.
That's
the lighter car.
It's all good and all new, and you don't want to miss any of it. Tonight at 5:30 and 7, only on Channel 4 San Diego. Leave it to Sam the Cooking Guy to think up some good stuff for the kids. Carbonara?
Carbonara, yeah. That's the kind of a white sauce, lighter sauce.
Nice.
Not the red marinara.
Easy for me to say.
Ernie Frieri's in the game for the Padres. Mason Posey, who's hit a 2-run homer in the first that opened the scoring, since then has singled and struck out.
Speaking of Sam the Cooking Guy, anybody who can tell Kathy Lee Gifford to shut her yapper is good,
good with us, yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff. If folks don't know what we're talking about, just YouTube that.
Yeah.
YouTube Sam's name and Kathy Lee. Straightaway center field, drifting back, Durango. One out in the 8th. Padres' pen has been spot on here through the middle stages, getting late.
Frieri has, what a great year for this right-hander.
Yeah, he's really established himself as a key guy in that impressive bullpen. He throws a first pitch strike to Jose Guillen. He with a sac fly in the 3rd, and he's also fanned twice. Out in the dirt.
It's a positive for San Diego is, if you're looking ahead to spring training 2011.
Popped up. And Adrian, glasses on, makes the catch just into foul territory. Yeah, regardless of what happens here, and we certainly hope the Padres win the division, go into the postseason. The foundation is there for this team to be good for a while.
Absolutely, and I was just going to talk about the arms that the Padres have in the bullpen. Guys like Frieri, Russell threw the ball well. Adam Webb.
That's a TV show, right?
Ryan Webb, Adam Russell, Ryan Webb. I mean, there has been guys out of this bullpen like Ernesto Frieri who has thrown the ball well, and that's a good thing to have going into spring training for next year. I'm thinking Adam West. Batman.
Adam West was Batman. Yeah. Who was the Webb on Dragnet?
Jack Webb.
Jack Webb. There you go.
Just the facts, man.
Fouled off the mitt.
Harry Morgan. Mesh.
He was the sidekick police officer.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch those old episodes sometimes.
Great.
Finally finished the
That's
bike
something
ride.
you won't see me doing.
What's that, reaching for your wallet?
Oh, working out.
Two outs, bases empty on Burrell. The 1-2 from Frieri. Drops low. Base hit into right center field. Durango will cut it off. A 2-out single for Burrell, and that ends a string of 13 in a row retired by Padres pitching.
Boy, and Pat Burrell, you talk about a new lease on your career after being signed to a minor league contract with the Giants. He's going to be pinch ran for, but 2 times this afternoon he's gone the opposite way. Swung the bat nicely.
Ross is going to pinch run. By the way, carbonara is actually bacon and egg pasta. I said it's light. It's actually lighter in color. I was trying to compare the colors with the red marinara. But it's actually a heavier sauce. So light wasn't exactly the best word to use.
Right. I understand. Whatever it was, it looked great.
If Sam makes it,
it's awesome.
Sandoval 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. We obviously don't see Pablo Sandoval every day, but the diving catch he made to Rob Ludwig in the 6th, I'd have to say, has to be one of his betters of the year.
Absolutely.
Drive to center. Durango retreating and dropped it. Burrow around third. He is going to come home. Well, Durango with his speed got there in plenty of time, but just had it clink off the mitt. And it's 6-1 San Francisco. An error on Durango's first big league error of the season.
Well, he got back with his speed. That's had it in the webbing. And just a good old-fashioned clank. Ball that has to be caught. Nobody feels worse than Luis Durango right now.
Shortstop Juan Uribe pulled off that pitch and swings and misses. Line to left center field. That's a base hit. Here comes Sandoval. Durango throw to the plate. The collision. And Toriyama hung on out at the plate. But Toriyama gave Sandoval a little pat as if to say, okay, clean play, but you're out. And that's how the inning concludes.
Charged the ball well. A one-hopper. Great concentration and a good clean slide. And good sportsmanship right there.
September 24th. Enjoy beers from 25 great breweries from First Pour at 5 p.m. at the Park at the Park. Admission is free with a game ticket. For more details, including a list of participating breweries, visit Padres.com/Oktoberfest. And it is common to have Oktoberfest in September. They even do it that way in Germany, in Munich.
Really?
Yeah. it can stretch into October. Sergio Romo now into the game, replacing Lincecum.
3-pitch pitcher for Sergio. Fastball, slider, and a change. High 80s, low 90s. Always working from the stretch.
Check swing, a little roller back through the box, but over the second baseman Fontenot, who just came into the game. And throws out Tejada. Here's the throw by Durango. We've seen he's got a pretty good arm.
You know, he charges the ball well. He gets himself in a good throwing position. And as you take a look at him, Sandoval, you know, that's a good, clean play. Torrealba realizes that, hangs onto the baseball, applies the tag. And it's all good.
You notice, though, he had the ball in the bare hand, so he actually did have to go back and tag him. That's to right field. Shearholtz, who's just into the game. Well, now we see why Bruce Bochy makes these defensive substitutions late in games with leads. He gets some more athleticism, more speed out there.
And it shows right there. And nobody happier than Romo getting the big second out.
Buddy Ross in the game now in left field. And you saw Fontenot, who made the play to begin the inning. He's in there at second. With Shearholtz, who you saw a moment ago, making the play in right. Well, those are the three defensive changes for the Giants here in the bottom of the eighth. 2 away. Former Giant, your beat, Torrealba, 1 for 3. Ball 1 low from Romo. Grounded towards third. Foul. Jerry Crawford indicating that one just a few inches foul. Well, really no shocker here that the Rockies would come back from a 2-0 deficit, and Jason Giambi 2-run homer in the ninth.
Does that surprise you? Seriously?
No. They're unbelievable at home. That's 10 straight wins for them now, which the streak actually began here in San Diego.
Humidor. I'm calling Humidor conspiracy.
All right, we're going to be there in 24 hours. How do you go about making sure the baseball stay the same throughout all
I'm going to have
games?
a firm talking to Jay Alves,
their PR,
and Drew Goodman and Jeff Huson.
George Frazier?
And Frazier, yeah, I'll get him into the mix as well.
Say that you're on to them?
Yeah, basically.
Well, this score stays the same. The Rockies are going to be only a game and a half back of both the Giants and Padres. Two outs, nobody on in the San Diego 8th inning. Almost strikes out Torrealba. Padres go in order in the 8th and go to the 9th. 6-1 San Francisco. September 14th, just a couple of days away for the Chiva Clasico as the Chivas USA takes on the Chivas de Guadalajara at 8 o'clock. It's your chance to see world-class soccer live in San Diego. Get your tickets today at Padres.com/Chivas. And the fifth different Padre pitcher of the game is left-hander Cesar Ramos.
Well, last time up for Cesar was back on the 9th. And that would be on Thursday against the San Francisco Giants. First game of that series. So spreading it out a little bit. It'll be 9-1-2. You've got the left-hander Shearholtz due up on that. He was put out in right field last inning. In that outing for Cesar, he went an inning, gave up 2 hits, no runs.
Shearholtz, 9-1-2 batters for San Francisco in the night. 1 unearned run allowed by Frieri. Well, Gregerson, Adams, and Bell, who each threw a scoreless and hitless inning yesterday in the win. I guess we're going to talk silver lining here. They should be fresh for the Colorado series tomorrow.
It's a good way of looking at it because you know see, that brings up another issue. Managing that pitching in Colorado, because we know how hairy that can get.
You do manage a little differently there, don't you?
I think
as far as
you're sticking with your starter maybe a little longer.
That's what I was going to say. And also a 3, 4, 5 run lead is not as
absolutely
just threatening as most ballparks.
Yep. You know, your starter may give up a crooked number here and there. Next thing you know, you're 5 runs down, but you stick with him an inning. First of all, because you might find his groove, and you get a couple more innings out of him. And on the offensive side, you might throw up a crooked number, and you're right back in the game.
Right. As long as that pitcher's not throwing 40 pitches in a single inning, right? Got to ride him a little longer. 2-2 to Shearholtz. Right back through the box and into center. That's the 10th Giants hit. Top of the order, and Aaron Rowan. Well, with Andres Torres now out, as it appears for the rest of the season, due to the appendicitis. Rowan getting the start in center field today. They also have Cody Ross in that mix, so he could see some time, more time in the outfield now as a result of the loss of Torres. Also figures that Rowan's going to get more playing time as well.
Absolutely.
Rowan today has struck out, popped to second, reached on a fielder's choice and fly to right, 0 for 4. Fastball to 94 from Ramos is down low.
Tell you what, are more guys touching 94 and 95?
It's incredible the arms that are coming out of bullpens these days, and the Padres have their share.
You know,
how many lefties did you see throwing 94 back then? And we don't really talk about Ramos's velocity much.
I know. And here's the thing. Back in the day, there was the ray gun. That caught the ball as it was coming across home plate,
which is a more accurate representation
of
what the hitters
I would
are
like
seeing.
to see. That's what I would like to see, rather than the jugs
coming out of the hand.
Right.
Because the ball's going to slow down, on average, 4 or 5 miles an hour.
And here's
by
the
the time
thing.
it gets to the plate.
Here's part of the baseball vernacular that I would like to 86 and get rid of. The guy has late life.
Late life?
Doesn't happen, folks. It's physically impossible. The ball cannot gain velocity as it crosses home plate. It loses speed immediately after it leaves the hand.
Well, can late life, though, also mean not necessarily velocity, but just action on the pitch?
I see where you're going.
See where I'm going with that? Before we completely 86 this term.
Well, I was referring to that term as far as velocity.
I know what you mean.
As far as like a sinking action or a slider?
They talk about Koufax's fastball rising back in the day.
Can't happen.
That's physically impossible. Right side, the underhand toss by Eck to get rolling. It can seem like an optical illusion.
Right.
But unless it's
because you're
violating the laws of physics,
right,
it's not rising as it gets to the hitter.
Yeah, because the guy's thrown off of a hill and you throw a fastball around neck high and they swing through it, it has the illusion like the ball is actually rising.
Fontenot batting for the first time. Schierholtz at first with one out and a strike from Ramos. Strike call 0-2.
I mean, that's 94 and it nice and easy.
Free and easy.
Tim Stauffer was hitting 95 the other day.
Boy, did he look good.
Yeah. There's Timmy.
He'll make a start on the upcoming road trip. He's in the rotation now.
Mm-hmm.
Stauffer is going to pitch in St. Louis.
So it'd be fair
by the dugout.
It'd be fair to say for Tim Stauffer to be saying, "Meet me in St. Louis, Louis. Meet me at the fair."
Yes. The Rockies series is Lupke against Jeff Francis tomorrow. John Garland against Jason Hamill on Tuesday, and then the Wednesday day game is De La Rosa against Clayton Richard.
All right, two left-handed matchups and a righty matchup. Garland and Hamill, the righties.
All of them on Channel 4. By the way, your pocket schedule may indicate the Wednesday game is not a TV game, but it's been added. All the games you're on Channel 4. Well, if the Giants win this game, they would be 81-63, and the Padres 80-62. There'd be a virtual tie for first again, with the Padres almost a percentage point ahead. But both teams, if you round up for the Giants, would have a .563 winning percentage. Going away, 2-2. Games just keep getting bigger.
Absolutely. No question.
The days come off the calendar.
Every play's a big play. Every pitch is huge.
Swing and a miss. And Fontenot strikes out. It's going to bring up Aubrey Huff. Huff with singles his first two times up, scoring in the first and third innings. 2 for 4 today. Pulled off with a pitch from Ramos there, and a little grin on the face of Huff. It was lefty-lefty matchup. The 0-1. Jammed him.
Hey, he swung at that.
By getting out of the way, the bat kind of came down.
No.
We didn't intend to,
No,
but intention has nothing to do with it.
Well, let's take a look. No.
Now, yeah. It's quite a little dance you did there.
A little wishful thinking there.
Always looking out for your guys, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, the strike zone's small enough.
You were saying? But it was outside.
Yeah.
Two balls and a strike to Huff. Looking at the Padre ninth. 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up. Headley, Ludwig, and Venable. That time a strike on the outside edge.
Hey, could they come up with some electronic type device where the umpire still is behind home plate, right? Indicates red or green. I mean, the umpire's still there doing it because you need somebody at the plate for out, safe, whatever.
Okay.
And to call a legitimate strike, I mean, at the letters, at the knees, on the corners.
Haven't we all dreamed about that?
Yeah, it's been talked about. And, you thought, spaceships were crazy, too, when you watched Flash Gordon back in the day.
Since technically the strike zone is different for each hitter.
Right.
How do
you adjust it?
Do you have like little electronic tape at the bottom of the knees? Everybody has to get geared up where their strike zones are?
They can adjust it.
What happens then if they squat down a little further? Okay. Why don't you get to work on that? I'm sure umpires...
I'll put my best man on it.
The major leagues are happy that you're trying to eliminate their jobs, or at least
I'm not saying
part of the jobs.
No, well...
Towards third, that is fair. Tough play from foul ground, throw by Headley. Adrian had to come off the bag and a base hit.
Boy, Huff, man.
His third hit of the game.
The Padres all afternoon has been trying to huff and puff and blow his house down, but he's been on base 3 times. It's almost like a check swing to Chase Headley. 1, 2, 3, 4, playing off the line.
Good effort by Chase to the jump throw. Trying to make a play at first. We'll bring up Buster Posey and our Sonic hit of the game. It's brought to you by Sonic. Sonic at San Diego, a perfect fit. The 4th batter of the game. Posey found the short porch in right for a 2-run home run. Put them up 2-0. They led 5-0, 5-1. Now back to a 5-run lead, 6-1 in the 9th. His home run was his 13th. And his 2nd of this series. That time you saw Torrealba kind of double clutch on the throw back to the pitchers. Like, waiting to hear the strike call on that one, but didn't. There's a strike. .85-mile-per-hour changeup from Cesar Ramos. The LA native, Cesar Ramos, has followed Frieri, Russell, Mujica, and the starter Latos to the hill today. Outside, 2-2.
Off the plate just a little bit. 95 on that heater. Cesar's kind of a short armor, too. Kind of a little deception in that arm delivery, that arm action. Right from the ear.
Full count on Posey. Three-two pitch to Gerald Dempsey Posey III. Fouled away. His dad was known as Dimp, but had the nickname Buster, and it got passed on to this guy Buster because he's the oldest of 4 in his family. He has a brother that's playing baseball at Florida State, has a sister that plays softball down in Florida. Foul down the right field side. Posey was the 5th overall pick in 2008 out of Florida State. the 4th overall pick. The pick just prior to him was Brian Mattis out of USD, taken by the Orioles. Another in the top 5 from that draft that's in the big leagues now is Pedro Alvarez of the Pirates. He was the 2nd overall selection that year. I say that year. That's only 2 years ago.
I know.
Another 3-2. Posey pulls it fouls. He got jammed. And Tim Flannery trying to make the bare hand play.
Well, let's check out the form. It's the one hopper. Tried to play it off to the side. We'll give him a mulligan on that one.
Those hands good enough to play the guitar with Willie Nelson and Buffett and Jackson Brown. And, of course, his own solo stuff that he puts out. Inside ball 4, and a walk will load him up. Edgar Renteria is going to bat. This is the pitcher spot now in the 5-hole. What's on Darren Balsley's mind here?
Well, trying to limit the damage here. Down by 5. And I'm guessing that maybe how to pitch here to Renteria, the pinch hitter. Maybe a little scouting report.
Renteria 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter this season.
See if it's first pitch breaking ball. Fastball located down and away. Very nice.
Adam reaching for it.
In fact, you know what? The radar gun posted that as a changeup down and away. 83. That look like a changeup to you?
It did look off speed compared to what he's been throwing.
Let's call it a changeup then.
That's the mark of a good changeup. You can't tell between that and a fastball, right? Sold it well. 0-1 pitch. And reaching again. That time
another one.
He fouls it away down the right field sack. Edgar Renteria, of course, no relation to our own Rick Renteria, Padres first base coach. Rick Renteria I should say Edgar Renteria, now in his 2nd season with the Giants. Chased the high fastball and strikes out. So the Giants leave the bases loaded in the 9th and have stranded 8. Last chance for the Padres. Headley, Ludwig, and Venable due up That's a piece of the high life. Go to MillerHighLife.com for details. Remember when we had Wendell in the booth with us?
That's right. That was great.
Well, a 6-1 Giants lead to the bottom of the 9th inning. Jeremy Affeldt takes over on the mound.
And for Bruce Bochy, one of the 3 lefties down in that bullpen for the Giants. Affeldt, 3-pitch pitcher, fastball, curve, and a change. Mid-90s. A little high on the walk side as well. He can scuffle with his control.
Headley leading off and takes inside. Up the middle. Uribe unable to get to it, and a leadoff base hit for Chase Headley. Uribe arranging far to his left. Couldn't get down far enough on it.
Well, that pitch nearly picked out of the... it was down around the shoe tops. Chase staying at it nicely. And once again, another leadoff batter aboard here in the 9th.
Fouled off by Ludwig.
Had leadoff runners in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, but it can only get 1 run. That was in the 5th when Will Venables tripled.
Lincecum went 7, 1 run, 7 hits, a walk, and 9 strikeouts today for San Francisco. Fastball strike to Ludwig, 1-2. Ryan has walked, struck out. Last time up in the 6th, he was robbed by Sandoval. And just off the DL, Jerry Hairston Jr. Six-1 Giants here in the bottom of the 9th. San Francisco trying to take 3 of 4 in this series and create again a virtual tie for first atop the NL West. 0-2 to Ludwig. A bouncer towards third, charge. That's a fair ball. Sandoval goes to second for 1, to first, safe. You get the lead runner Headley.
We've seen a lot of close plays at first base, at second base. This being a forced play at second base. Very close, I thought. Screened by the umpire, and let's take a look here. Clearly out from that angle.
So Jerry Hairston Jr. just off the DL today. Cannot play defensively because they're still watching the elbow as far as throwing, but he can contribute as a pinch runner and a pinch hitter. Fouled back. Jerry went on the disabled list August 28th, so he missed 14 games with what is categorized as a right elbow sprain. Outside from Affeldt.
You know, right elbow sprain. Now, as a right-handed hitter, you try to cover that outside part of the plate, and you extend maybe a little bit more. That might
feel that.
Yeah. See the elbow wrapped.
Popped up out of the shallow center. Fontenot gives way to Uribe, and the shortstop makes the catch. So Hairston batting for Venable. Pops out. And they'll bat for the pitcher Ramos with Aaron Cunningham. If the Padres don't score here in the ninth, that would just be 2 Padre runs in the last 3 games of this series and 5 overall. There's a base hit to left center. It has Ludwig on the run, heading for third. It's cut off by Rowan to throw into second base, and a pinch hit single. Aaron Cunningham keeps it alive. Runners at the corners with 2 outs.
As a pinch hitter, you're coming off the bench. You look for that first pitch fastball. I think that was a fastball from Jeremy Affelt, and AC was all over it.
Durango due up, but the Padres will pinch hit again, this time with Scott Hairston. We do have a righty loosening in the Giants bullpen, so Affelt will be lifted. This pitching change is brought to you by Discount Tire. Stop by for a free tire inspection and air gauge. Remember, if you aren't happy with one of their tires, feel free to bring it back. And here comes Wilson. For Scott Hairston with Matt Stairs. Runner from first takes off, and Cunningham will make it without a throw. Our pitching profile brought to you by RCP Block and Brick. Create your dream yard today. Visit rcpblock.com.
Turn it up a notch. Brian Wilson coming in for Bruce Bochy, trying to seal the deal here.
But not in a save situation.
Right, the tying run is in the hole. Tying run has got to be on deck. That being David Eckstein. David Eckstein would be the 5th run if he were to score.
Runners at second and third, 2 outs. 6-1 Giants in the bottom of the 9th. And inside the Stairs, 2-1. Outside, 3-1. Heck on deck. Padres trying to stay alive here in the 9th. Still got the rally caps going.
Need a big-time rally shillelagh here.
On the outside corner, says Phil Cuzzy, and it's a full count. Padres down to their final strike. Crowd of 33,876 on this Sunday. And Petco and many come to their feet. Strike 3 call ends the weekend of baseball, and the Giants win it 6-1 and take 3 of 4 in the series. And there's a virtual tie again atop the NL West between the Padres and the Giants. Giants win it 6-1 and take 3 of 4 in the series. We'll take a timeout, come back, and wrap things up from Petco Park.